that came from all over the state. Thank you so much, Matt, for your leadership, and thank you for giving us Abby in the United States Congress. That is incredible. So I have had a lot of fun the last few days in the heat. I did the Ankeny Parade, which is 3 miles long. Like, really? You know, when you're a candidate, you go back and forth. That turns into 6 miles really easily. Then I had a lot of fun and did an event for a legislative candidate, Ross Wilburn, out in Ames. And I don't know if you heard, but the Republicans forgot to put someone against him before the filing deadline 2 days ago. He's won. There we go. This is going to be our election, man. So, you know about me. I announced on a day that may have been 100 degrees colder in the middle of a snowstorm in the middle of the Mississippi River. And I did that because I wanted to show that I have grit. And we are going to need grit to win this election. I'm also someone that tells the truth. Maybe you learned that at the Kavanaugh hearings, all right? I am someone that can be blunt and gets to the point. And I think that America is looking for a president that tells the truth. Because right now, we got a guy in the White House that just doesn't know how to tell the truth. He doesn't know how to keep a promise. You look at what he has done. So he came in and he promised us that he was going to do something about immigration. Look at the chaos that he has caused. Look at those people trembling today as they don't know which family, millions of people all over America. As I said this morning, you know, if he wanted to really try to deport people that were security risks, maybe he shouldn't have told them a week ago, all right? Why does he do this? He does this because he wants to create wedges. He wants to make sure that he can create maximum chaos, that everyone is talking about what he is doing instead of what we need to do to move America forward. Well, let me tell you what we need to do. First of all, promise number one he broke. He said he was going to bring pharmaceutical prices down so low your head would spin. His words. Well, over 2,000 pharma prices for prescription drugs have gone up in double digits. And I'll make you this promise. When I'm your president, I'm the one that's taken on pharma for over a decade. They think they own Washington with their 2 lobbyists for every member of Congress. Well, they don't own me. We're going to finally unleash the power of 43 million seniors to get the Medicare negotiations going to bring those prices down. And we're going to bring in less expensive drugs from countries that are safe like Canada. In Minnesota, we can see Canada from our porch, all right? We know what the prices are in other countries. Okay, another promise he made. He told our farmers he's going to give them a good deal. Instead, they got a trade war, and they've got him granting secret waivers to big oil companies that hurt our biofuels industry in Iowa. I will stand up for our rural communities just like I have done every single day. We've got promises that he has made when it's come to infrastructure. That's what he said on election night. Election night. Instead, what do we have? We still don't have rural broadband in big chunks of this country. We still are seeing electric grids going down, power stations catching on fire, and most importantly, right here in Iowa, levees bursting and houses underwater. We can do better, America, when it comes to infrastructure. We can get this done. You look at what he has said on education. We still have escalating college costs. We still have debt. He has not kept his promises to the middle class. As I said the other day, when it comes to the middle class, coming from Donald Trump, it's been all foam and no beer, all right? So, I believe in education. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. My background's a little different than Donald Trump. My grandpa was an iron ore miner. He worked 1,500 feet underground in the underground mines up in northern Minnesota. He never got to graduate from high school. He saved money in a coffee can to send my dad to college. My dad, he went to a 2-year community college and then to a 4-year degree at the University of Minnesota and became a newspaper man. My mom, she grew up in Milwaukee. She wanted to be a teacher, and she moved to Minnesota because they had strong teachers' unions, right? She taught second 7th grade until she was 70 years old. And I stand before you today as a granddaughter of an iron ore miner, as a daughter of a teacher and a newspaper man, as the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate from the state of Minnesota, and a candidate for President of the United States. That is what shared dreams are about. That no matter where you come from in this country, or who you know, or who you love, or where you worship, that you can get ahead. And this guy has tried to fracture those dreams every single day. I was thinking back on 4th of July. I was thinking about when he was with Vladimir Putin the week before, and how when someone asked about meddling in our election, he made a joke with Vladimir Putin. It's not a joke. Hundreds of thousands of people have died on the battlefield, men and women, fighting to protect our democracies and democracies around the world. Thousands of Iowans have died. You think of those 4 little girls in that church in Birmingham, those innocents that died in the civil rights movement, which was all about people trying to deny them their rights, deny people the right to vote. When you look at a foreign country invading our democracy, not with tanks, not with missiles, but with a cyber attack, no, Mr. President, it is not a joke. And as your president, I will stand with America, right? I will stand with our allies, and I will not coddle dictators.
Yay!
This is a time in our country like no other. And I leave you with 3 things about me. Number 1, I'm someone that gets things done. I have passed over 100 bills where I was the lead Democrat. Over 100 bills. And I've done it not by just trying to run up the table. I've done it by listening to my constituents and going to work and working to, in the words of Paul Wellstone, improve their lives. When you have that mission, everything else just melts away. Secondly, I'm someone that can win. I've won every race, in every place, every single time. I have won all the way back to elementary school, where my slogan was, all the way with Amy Kay. Okay, I've abandoned that slogan. But the point is that I've won in districts that he has won by over 20 points. And if we want to win in Iowa and change your legislature so there's a check on that governor and you can stop this diabolical scheme to privatize Medicaid, then we need someone that can win in Iowa, that can win in Michigan, that can win in Wisconsin. And if you doubt that we can win in Wisconsin, I have 4 words for you. Former Governor Scott Walker, all right? We can do this, Democrats. We can do this because we are on this march, right? We are on this march. And that leads me to the last thing you need to know about me. There's a lot of promises out there. Promises he's breaking, promises all over the place. You can go to see the plans we have at amyklobuchar.com. But I promise you one thing. I will run this campaign, and I will run this country with one thing, and that is integrity. Because we have a president where kids wake up in the morning and their parents don't even want to watch the president on TV. That is not the America that we want to be. So this march that we're on, Iowa, it started the day after that inauguration. It started the day afterward when millions of people peacefully marched across this country, including right here in this state. And then the day after that, 6,000 women signed up to run for office. 6,000 women. And then you get to day 9 when people spontaneously showed up at the airports to protest that anti-Muslim order. They showed up at non-international airports to protest. And then you go to my favorite march on day 100, the March for Science. And my favorite sign, what do you want? Science. When do you want it? After peer review, all right? Then you go into the summer when the fighting 48 Democratic senators stood together with 3 Republicans that joined us because we stood together, right? And we fought off that Republican effort to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which would have gotten rid of the protections against kicking people off their insurance for pre-existing conditions. We did that. Then you go to the fall with legislative races all over this country. And what happened there? We elected this diverse group of candidates, more women. My favorite one was a legislator in New Jersey who the day of the Women's March said, I hope they'll be home in time to make dinner. That guy, he went down. He got defeated by an African American woman, all right? Then you go into the spring where those students after Parkland, after that tragedy, they did not just march. They spoke. They talked to their parents, they talked to their grandparents, and they changed a nation because kids all over the country listened, and we had the highest votes of students and young people in the midterms that we have ever had in recent decades in this country. And that was the year that you gave us Cindy and Abby, and we took back the House and we turned it into the people's house. That is the march we are on. So I ask you to join me. I don't come from money, right? I don't come from money. There's a few billionaires, well, maybe one just got in this race, okay? I'm gonna need you to sign up at our website at amyklobuchar.com so we can finish this march, so we can finish this job, so we can win in Iowa and we can win the nation. Thank you.